Alright, so what do you say we go for a little walk? Never done this before. I'm going to put the camera up here on my yoke and we'll see what happens. Now, the other day I was fishing with a chest harness, and what I found out about that was it totally sucked. I missed almost everything. I ain't doing that no more. There's guys out there that do fishing videos and they use a chest rig and they do good videos. I ain't figured out how they do that yet, so my fishing videos from now on will consist of the camera sitting on the tripod, because I seem to get the best results with that. But like I said, let's take a walk. I'm going to put the camera up here on my shoulder harness, and let's take a walk through the woods, see what happens. Alrighty, so here we go. I'm going to take a little walk through the woods. Hopefully I'm talking loud enough and not too loud. I do not have an external microphone, and you're going to see basically what I'm seeing from my viewpoint, I guess, because if you think I am going to walk around a North Carolina black swamp with a selfie stick in my hand, you thought wrong. Oh my goodness, look at that. I'll pick it up, So that fell out of a tree. Look at the way it's curved. That was sitting on a tree. Must have blew out in a storm. Glad the hornets ain't around anymore. But yeah, as you can see right here, we're right on the edge of the black swamp. If it rains a lot, that starts filling up with water. I'm not about to walk down there, at least not without someone with me. And I don't mean cyber wise, I mean actually with me, in case I run into a problem out here. As long as I'm on dry land, I'm not really concerned about what I'm going to find out here. I mean, I might find a snake, might find a big snake. I've seen some huge ones out here before. Might run into a rabid animal. I do worry about stuff like that, rabid animals. I'm not worried about the bears, because they're black bears. They're no big deal around here. Just go boo and they run. But coyotes, they can be a problem. Wolves, they can be a problem. Those that are in charge, they don't really like admitting it, but there's panthers here in these woods too. And while I've only seen one, excuse me, that was a pollen cough, not a cerveza cough. But about 10 years ago or so, I did actually see a panther, and not only was it a panther, it was a black panther. But I've talked to a few other people recently, and they told me they've seen panthers in the Croatan too, not black ones, but regular ones. But I'm assuming, after talking to those people, that these panthers, they might not necessarily be a black panther per se, but they're a very dark-skinned one, because if you live around here where I do, you'll notice that there is deer that basically live out in the farmlands, and they're usually a nice, light, pretty colored deer, and then you get deep into the swamp and the deer start getting really dark. And I guess it's just because they're not getting the same amount of sunlight, and their diet's a whole lot different. You know, they're not eating soybeans and corn and whatever else that's available, winter wheat, all that good stuff that the farmers plant. You know, I've never been in this part of the woods. It's pretty cool. I like it. It is starting to rain a little bit though, so I'm not 100% sure how long we're going to hike. And I know not to get down there in them swamps. I guarantee you, I take a few steps into that black swamp area and fettuccine hiccups. If I was to walk down in there, it wouldn't take long to find a snake. Now granted, I do have my snake charmer with me today, but I just assume keep it in the scabbard. You know, I never really enjoy killing things. It's just that sometimes things need to be killed. And you know, from looking here, I don't know if this is an old trail or a fire break, but I feel that I'm right along an old trail here. Because it's definitely lower than the rest of this. Now it could have been a fire ditch a long time ago when the budgets were much bigger for the woods. They had fire trenches out here and backstops or what. I don't even know what they call all that stuff. I'm not a forestry worker. I just enjoy the forest. But I know there used to be a lot of very serious management of the forest. And they're still doing the very best they can with the budget that they have. Thank you, Obama, Bush, and Clinton, for cutting those budgets. But they still do the best they can. Which comes to my point of us people, when we come out here in the woods, we need to do our part too. You need to do more than just enjoy the woods. We need to take care of it. You know, so when you come out here and you find a really nice spot, and unfortunately somebody found it before you and they left their garbage, pick it up. You know, that's all. Just pick it up. It's no big deal. Needs to be done. Yeah, this is pretty wild. This is definitely looking pretty damn snaky to me. Real snaky. It's nice though out here, ain't it? It's quiet. A little humid, fixing to rain, kind of sticky, but man, it's nice out here today. Overcast, not too hot, not too sunny. It was cold last night, so chances are snakes aren't going to be super duper active at the moment. If not, they want to get a little sassy, well, I'll introduce them to Mr. Winchester. Mr. Winchester 410. I'm pretty sure they won't like what he has to say. Oh my goodness, how's that for an old rotted out stump? Looks a little too gnarly to be a pine, but yeah, I swear, the more I walk around out here, I think there's an old trail out here that hasn't been used in years. I swear. When I first moved here in 1992, there was a lot of good trails out here. There was a lot of areas that you could, I'm not going to say they were abused, but they were well used. And then cell phones started getting popular, then social media caught on fire, and now the woods don't get used like it used to. Sure don't seem to. I mean, I personally, I'm glad for that. The less people that are out here, the better, as far as I'm concerned. But of course, that's being selfish. It's a national forest. It belongs to all of us. But yeah, some of these young kids, it's like, well, why would you want to, whoa. Yeah, some of these young kids, it's like, you know, why would you want to go outside and play basketball when you can just play it on the computer? Doesn't make much sense to me either. But that or I remember when we had, it was Windows 95. Yeah. Imagine that, huh? And had this fishing game. Don't remember the name of it. It was some like Bass Pro or something like that. And you literally were cyber fishing for bass, and you could catch catfish. Of course, they were too easy. They just would like grab your bait, and then drag would peel, and you'd sit there and you'd be struggling with your mouse. It was really pretty lame when you think about it, but well, you know, at the time it was state of the art, but it was still lame by my standards, because nothing beats the real deal ever. And for those of you that are eyeballing these beautiful ferns and whatnot out here, I'd like to take the time to remind you, if you come out here and dig some of this stuff up, it is absolutely a felony. And if you get caught, you're going to be in a heap of trouble, boy. And that ain't no joke. Yeah, the game warden and the forestry people that I've dealt with over the years, they have always been very nice people. That is one giant pine tree, and it has been dead a long time. Could you imagine the fat wood that you could harvest out of that thing? Oofta. I mean, you'd need a chainsaw with about a 3-foot bar just to topple it over. Which, there we go. That'll have to be another time and another adventure, coming out here and getting some fat wood, because there's fat wood everywhere out here. Wherever you see a pine tree that rotted, there's fat wood. Yeah, this is certainly nice. I see me coming out here and camping. Now, normally I prefer to camp down by the river or by a pond or a lake, someplace that's going to have a fish. But this place here has potential. Right on the edge of the swamp. Not really liking that. That means snakes, but there's a nice tree here. Someone's already camped here. And oh, look. They were a dumbass and didn't take their shit with them. So here we go, folks. Here we are out in the middle of the damn woods, and you can still find garbage. Ooh, a big gun. But yeah, I just don't understand how somebody can bring whatever it is they're bringing out here to the woods to go camping with, and then leave it here. You know, I mean, that's just, you're just one sorry shitbag when you do stuff like that. You truly are. And look at that. Kimosabi and my flag. Yeah, this is nice, but I'm a little nervous about the rain coming up and whatnot, so I'm probably going to end up cutting this a little short. But if I'm not huffing and puffing too loudly into the camera, I can see me doing this again on a much longer hike. And see, this is not too far off the road. Now here's another campsite. This one's not too bad. This is where I actually had lunch earlier today, and I missed that piece. And folks, for the record, aluminum foil doesn't melt. It just wads up into a ball, you know. Okay, so I'm back at the bike, and when I first stopped, I noticed this crap over here. You know, the person ain't got no class. They're drinking Bush. What's this? Ooh, Dr. Thunder. Somebody went to Walmart. And Burger King. You know, I don't even eat Burger King at Burger King. I sure as heck ain't gonna drag it out into the woods. Just shows you the mentality of people. Yeah, let's go get some garbage, drag it all the way out in the woods and eat it, and then leave the garbage there. Now this, folks, yeah, we're in the national forest, but stupid stuff like this, as far as I'm concerned, should be done on private property. Last year, some ass clown came out here and played Mr. Bushcraft. And here we are like a year later. He ain't been out here in months, you can tell. And he just left his shelter here. Well, I can assure you this. When I come out here camping, I most definitely will be using this shelter for firewood. And some kind of crazy beer, huh? I mean, I know that I don't drink beer. I used to. But I used to drink Budweiser, an American beer. And unfortunately, Budweiser's not even American anymore. Oh, I hope that's not a poop bag. Oh, I don't know what that is, but we'll put it in here. I have a feeling that's a poop bag. And why? You're out in the woods. Why would you poop in a bag? Dig a damn hole and bury it like a cat. But yeah, I remember when the guy built this. I mean, he did a nice job, but then he just left it here. So what I see here is lots and lots and lots of dried firewood. Man, I come out here and I cut this stuff up into 14-inch pieces, and I'll have me some firewood. You can believe that. I'll probably have enough that I would stash it. But yeah, I'm not against building a bushcraft shelter, but if you do, take the damn thing down when you're done with it. That, or do it on your own property, or do it on private property with permission, mind you. So yeah, here I am, way out in the damn woods, and there's garbage out here. I mean, it's just shameful, ain't it? Just pure shameful. All right, so let me tie this up, and about a mile or less from here is a forestry composting toilet and a trash can. So our little bag of garbage there, that's where it's headed. Let me get out of my gear here, and we will mosey on. Yeah, that's a nice place out there, ain't it? Yeah, I see that as a nice new campsite. Maybe even drop a log across the road when I come out here so nobody else can come out here. Now, of course, I would not do that. You don't really believe that, do you? I'd do it in a heartbeat if I thought I could get away with it. But no, I've said it before, you know, the National Forest belongs to all of us. And just because somebody else doesn't appreciate it or take care of it doesn't mean that we have to give them a pass. We all need to take care of this. This is a treasure. This is a real treasure. How could you even think of abusing this or mistreating this out here? I mean, think about it. You hear that? Yeah, that's just the wind. There's nothing out here but me. Awesome, ain't it? No excuse to not put your in there, huh?